let's come back to the RNA virus issue for a second. Now, scientists are detecting a novel RNA in multiple patients with influenza or pneumonia-like conditions and are assuming that the detection of this RNA, which is believed to be wrapped up in proteins to form an RNA virus, such as coronavirus, they're believed to be, that this is the equivalent of isolating the virus. Now, I want you to understand this. Nobody has ever seen the actual virus and isolated it. What they've done is they've taken the RNA components of it, certain components of the virus, and then tested for that, and they have made the extrapolation that this is what a person has, they have the virus. Now, I'm gonna talk about the testing and the false positives a little bit later, but let's just make sure that we understand this part. This is not the same thing. It is not, according to GreenMed Info, and they're absolutely right. It is not the same thing when you see the RNA as if it's the actual virus that you're seeing that's causing the problem. And one group of scientists was honest enough to admit this. Okay, they were quoted in a study saying, "We did not perform tests for detecting infectious virus in the blood." Despite this admission, early in the paper, they repeatedly referred to the 41 cases out of 59 similar cases that they tested positive for this RNA, as 41 patients confirmed to be infected with the 2019 nCoV, which now is called COVID-19. Another paper silently, quietly admitted our study does not fulfill Koch's postulate. Now, who was Koch? Koch was a virologist, a bacteriologist that lived around the turn of the century in the 1800s, and he developed certain standards that are today considered to be the gold standard before you can make any type of a claim, validity-wise from a study standpoint, etc. Now, Koch's postulate states a number of different things, but these are the points that these studies did not fulfill Koch's postulates. First, you have to first purify the pathogen. In other words, you have to actually make sure it's that pathogen or whatever, whether it's bacteria, virus, in this case a virus, that it's actually the virus that's causing the particular illness that's being described. That's the first portion. Then you have to expose the susceptible animals. Of course, not talking about humans here, but that's what Koch's postulate is, that you expose the susceptible animal to the pathogen, and then you have to verify that the illness that's being observed is actually produced by this, whatever this pathogen is. And then on the back end, once you've established that, then you should re-isolate and re-purify the pathogen to make sure it's actually the etiological component, that it's actually the causative component that's causing this issue to be there. Now, this is the basics of the Koch postulate. These studies did not meet Koch's postulate, all right? So it's important to remember that. Now, famous virologist Thomas Rivers in a 1936 speech, so that's about 85 years ago, made the comment that it is obvious that Koch's postulates have never been satisfied or have not been satisfied in viral diseases. Now, that was a long time ago, but what's interesting is that it's still basically the same issue right now. Okay, none of the papers referenced in this article have, in the GreenMed's article, have actually been able to successfully purify the virus, isolate and purify the virus. Okay, so that's the first thing I wanted to let you guys know.